Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Came up from the struggle, now we stacking chips. Black Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich. Donnie Glover Show, watch us shift the switch. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle when the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Talking black excellence, ain't no exclusivity. History in making, reclaiming our divinity. Break by break, rebuilding our community. Donnie Glover Show, celebrate unity. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds running, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we are brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the
we have some stars in the building.
Donnie Glover Show by BMOnews.com. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo.
We'd like to welcome you to BMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Special thank you to our executive producer of Be More News in Niagara, Mr. Emmanuel Price. We're up here this is the New York side, and that's the Canadian side, and we will be there for the New Year's dropping of the ball or somewhere around here. Very beautiful Niagara Falls, some of the best water in the world. So make sure you get out, get your passport, and do some traveling. And keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. Here on the bank of Mississippi with our very dear friend Corey Mathis. A beautiful town, New Orleans. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com. We're going to give you an update. 10 years since Katrina. The news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Have with us tonight Sharonda Dillard Huffman. Hello, Queen. How are you?
I am great.
Okay. You got to unmute yourself there, Doug. How are you, Mr. Blackshear? You got that delayed effect. You're muted.
Okay. Yes, I am outstanding, representing BlackUSA.News, Be More News for the United States of America, Mr. Donnie Glover. Keep up the great work.
Where are you, Doug? Where are you, Doug?
I'm in Oakland, California.
All right, you got a television or something going back there?
Yep, let me turn off. Better?
Yeah, he's freezing up a bit there. Sharonda, what's happening in your race? What's happening in Baltimore? It's so much. Sharonda, I have so many questions for you about Baltimore County. What's happening out there? Whoops. Well, so much for that. What's happening in Oakland?
Well, what's happening here in Oakland is that we are uniting and unification, because at the end of the day, if we don't do that, we are going to be at the end of the food pool. And right now, as you can see with this ICE issue across the nation, the biggest issue here in California is making sure that Trump wants to send his cronies Oakland, California, to try to bully us like he's doing down in LA, down in Baltimore, and in Washington, D.C.?
I got a very disturbing tape earlier today. Trying to remember who sent it. It was of ICE running up on some people and tackled them. It got real ugly, man.
Donnie, let me tell you, and I tell brothers, and specifically in deep East Oakland, when they finish going after Hispanics, Mexican Americans, who do you think they're going after next? And the work that
Did they ever stop going after black people?
Well, let's look at it like this, Donnie. After they finish going after Hispanics, they're warming up to go after the black people in America. And that's what we don't understand. Oh, man, they're going after the Mexicans. They're going after Hispanic. They're going after you. I have worked with a group of young men in Oakland, specifically in deep East Oakland, talking about we have not galvanized our power. The biggest thing here is, let me just, and I put out a few notes because I wanted to make sure I covered it. Political power, black power base, and economic power. Whether it be Republicans or Democrats, at the end of the day, Donnie, we have got to start holding these politicians accountable for allowing and giving our people the political power that we deserve, that we earned, to unity and unification. And that's what we don't do. We're not unified.
Let's hear from Florida. Mike Randolph, I want you to come in and chime in. We're getting an update from around the country on what people are thinking about ICE. So come on, let's get the word from Tampa. So have you seen people being arrested yourself, Doug?
Not here in California, in Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, but we all know once they finish with LA, they're coming to the San Francisco Bay Area next. That is on their agenda. And until we start unifying ourselves, and what I mean unifying, we need to start what you're doing. And let me back up a little bit, Donnie. What you're doing,
What we are doing.
Okay, what we're doing, BlackUSA.news, that scares people like Trump, the MAGA. They don't want us to unify. They want us to stay divided, because if we stay divided, then they can conquer us. And what you're doing and what we're doing.
So LaVere Sanders said that they're going after all illegals. They locked up the mayor of Newark. They locked up the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka.
Well, let's be clear here.
Hold on.
And I want to.
Sharonda, they did lock up the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka. Didn't ICE come at him?
I didn't know that. I was just I was in New Jersey, and I had saw the congresswoman that they tried to lock her up too. I've been so engrossed in Baltimore County, I'm missing stuff. I want to hear more.
Yeah, he was arrested at an ICE facility. I know what I'm talking about.
I believe you.
The mayor of Newark. Now I just see this about this congresswoman charged in ICE jail melee. Says indictment leaves out the key details.
Right. I actually met her a few months ago when I went to a training at Rutgers for political training, and she was there. She's actually someone who also graduated from Emerge. So I was aware of that. But yeah, it's off the chain.
LaMonica McIver.
Yes.
Well, my Nubian queen in Oakland, California, we have Mayor Barbara Lee, who was a congresswoman for the last 26 years. They're coming after her.
Wow.
The Trump and MAGA administration are coming after any person, specifically minorities. Once they finish with the Black, or once they finish with the Hispanic community, who do you think they're coming after next?
Well, can I tell you, I keep my passport card in my pocketbook because I just never know. I was born in Delaware, hadn't even been to Africa yet, but I'm just saying, just in case.
Well, just remember this: Burkina Faso, who is a president, youngest president ever in the country in Africa, President Ibrahim Traore. We are preparing for a mass in the United States, a mass push to get white people, and I don't have anything. Some of my best friends are white people, but we are trying to move away from a global country to a monogamous country, in which would include, and I won't say include. They want to. They think that America is going backwards instead of forward, and it's scary when you look at it like that.
Okay, so there's a picture, Sharonda, and the news has it that she moves to dismiss federal charges against her, citing Trump's January 6th pardons.
And she just got into Congress. It's terrible.
Do you know anything, Sharonda, about Ibrahim Traore?
No, I'm learning.
Yeah, he's the Captain Ibrahim Traore. He became leader of Burkina Faso through a coup, and he is known throughout the African diaspora for having removed the French military out of Burkina Faso. The French military has been pushed out of a number of other countries, a number of Francophone or French-speaking countries. Mike, come on, Mike, get your stuff together. Has a number, well, he threw me all off. Niger, Mali, and Senegal, that's the one most recently, have put the French out. This is ending an era of neocolonialism and military presence by European powers in African nations. So this is a whole new day in Africa. Thank you, Vera. Yes. And they are what they call a Sahel.
Well, I'm a little scared of that because, through USAID, even though people were talking about it, they helped a lot of African countries. And so a lot of African countries do still need support from Europe and the United States because there has been so much colonialism. So I'm just,
I disagree with you, Sharon.
Okay. I love to.
I do too, Sharon. Let me tell you something. The president of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore, has paid off to France $4.5 billion so that he can make sure his country is not colonized by the Western states, which include America, France, England, etc. So I totally agree with that statement. Thank you. I'm sorry.
So long story short, Africa is in debt. They're in debt because these European countries came there during colonialism. Mm-hmm. Then they left, which ushered in this neo-colonialism era, new colonialism, new form, 6.0, 4.0, where they're no longer inside the country, but you still kicking them money, product, raw materials. That's how you stay in debt, because they paying child support, an exorbitant amount that they can never afford. Therefore, the European power claims ownership of your land.
And that's what they're doing.
Hold tight,
That's
Doug.
what
Hold tight,
that's
Doug.
what they're doing in Hades.
It's the
That's what they're
same
doing in
game
Haiti.
across the continent, and yes, in Haiti too. You have the floor.
Well, let's be clear here to everyone who's on this. First off, I pray and hope that you all share this with all your social media colleagues. Right now, it is a huge war to keep in America. Black people are 7% of unemployment, which is higher than any other group of people in the United States. And the way you keep a group down is economically. They may not have us in a cotton field picking cotton, but if you control our economics, that's how you control us. Oakland, Alameda County, California, and the United States of America is doing their best to try to keep their foot on Black people in America so that they can stay in control. And I'll be in Sacramento on next Tuesday talking about the biggest reason why we continuously are not able to excel is because of economics. If you control our money, you control us. And that's what we don't and we need to understand.
Mike Randolph, you want to chime in?
Oh, thank you, Diane, for giving me an opportunity to jump in. So for those of you, I'm Mike Randolph. I'm from Tampa, Florida, by way of Sandtown. So yeah, I do see a lot of issues ahead when it comes to Black economics. I also see hope. I see artificial intelligence in the Web3 as a mechanism to transform specifically poor communities. I think this technology can be used in the Black community to change the narrative, whether it be unemployment, whether it be, for example, kids that fail in school. Well, AI can be used for every child that's failing to bring that child up to par. So imagine this, AI can be used as a mechanism to change the narrative when it comes to how we being treated now. I see that as the next best hope. Artificial intelligence is the next best hope. And if we're not there as a Black people, we're lost. Because now we got to succumb to the traditional way of doing things.
So, Sharronda, what are some of the issues that we're dealing with in Baltimore County?
Well, we're still in the midst of redistricting. So we have 2 hearings coming up. I recently had a webinar with the Greater Baltimore Urban League, and that was with Senator Charles Sidnor of Baltimore County. And we talked about, sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. But this is an opportunity. This is the first time, probably in forever, there's actually going to be 9. Well, we never had 9 council seats. And as of this week, probably only 2 incumbents. Because what else is happening is my council person, well, this has been going on for a few weeks. He has an alcohol problem, and he was his mother had asked that the police do a wellness check on him in his office in East Point Mall, which is in between Essex and Baltimore. And they had to drag him out. He had a gun. And they actually did the body worn camera yesterday. So it seems like the other councilmen are rallying behind him. The reason why this only came out is because his wife had to get a restraining order against him. And we're all like feeling sorry for the councilman, but I'm also looking at the logistics. I live in a community like District 7 in Baltimore County.
Why are you feeling sorry for
him? Because they like him. It's an old boy. It's a good old boy network. Okay, even with Julian. And so, you have empathy. I have alcoholics in my family. My mother's a recovering alcoholic, hasn't drank in years.
We got empathy, Sharronda, but
yeah, I have empathy, but I'm looking at the woman. Okay, and I'm looking at what you haven't been doing in this jurisdiction, and we have been left behind. I'm looking at the fact you didn't even go to your budget hearing, your budget meeting for our council. This council district. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at his wife. I'm looking at his stepdaughter. Those are the things that no one's talking about. I'm looking at what it looks like that our council is rallying behind someone who's been abusive. I've seen it myself in front of staff, but his own family, and you have pulled out a gun, pulled it out your drawer, and told a woman, a police officer, to stick the gun up her ass. That's what I'm looking at. It's not a good look, and I just think that there should be some accountability.
Well, Attorney DeShield, welcome to the show, and I do apologize. I owe you 200-300 apologies. I stood you up.
No problem.
What is the word on the Inspector General scenario in Baltimore County? I'm gonna spare Sharonda, unless you want to touch it, Sharonda.
Oh, I was all over that, but so Kelly Madigan, actually, I got involved very early because I was I worked in Baltimore City to help, Councilman Ramos. There was a group that tried to, make sure Isabel Cumming would be safe, and they put that on the ballot. So Isabel Cumming, she was like, you need to help O'Kelly, and I've been there ever since. But she is sort of safe, and she actually had a meeting with some of the indivisible Baltimore County last weekend. And she discussed the fact that she is basically in a holding pattern. Like if she do something,
who is she? I'm a little lost.
Kelly Madigan, that's our Inspector General. So the Kathy Klossmeyer has decided that because the person that she has selected did not go through, she's not going to select another person throughout her next 15 months or whatever through December. So basically, she's in a holdover. But
maybe I didn't make my question clear. Barry O'Connell came out with a story that Madigan. I had to call you back.
Well, I'm not going to address Barry O'Connell because he makes up a lot of stuff.
Okay, that's why
that's what I'm saying. I noticed your story.
I got you. That's why I'm hold tight, Mr. Bob. Do you know about that situation?
I know that Kelly Madigan was appointed for a fixed term. I know that term ended, and she has no right to continue in that position. If she's reappointed, she's reappointed. But some of the supporters of that she should be reappointed have almost taken a position that she somehow is entitled to remain in that position, and she is not. With respect to the actual performance of her duties, I've had occasion from time to time to interact with her during the course of an investigation. I've found her to be professional. I've found her to be unbiased. I know of no reason why she should not be reappointed, but the fact remains she is not entitled to that.
Okay, because we were hearing some different things here in the city, particularly as it relates to Izzy Patoka.
But did you have it verified, Donnie? Because I don't do rumors. Because I got rumors about me, it never happened. So you gotta come with some, I always ask for data.
No problem. I thought it came across your radar. It came across a bunch.
I read it, but I just don't think it's true because Barry makes up stuff just like he does on everything else. It's like looking at National Enquirer, and as a journalism person, I would think you check your sources, and I didn't.
I checked my sources. Everybody is talking about it, and they got to be talking about something. What are they talking about?
But that's not a source. Like, do you have data? Do you have like a police report? Do you have an investigation? Do you have firsthand knowledge? All I saw was he said, and this is a rumor. That's all I'm saying. Like, I always ask for stuff.
That's why we brought you on this show. I'd like to know.
I'm correcting the record. And so just like the council just said, no one has a right to anything, but the way it is the council can appoint, has to approve someone. So I don't have a right to anything, but she wasn't approved. The person that was
I wasn't asking about.
No, I'm talking. I was speaking.
Let me help you out because you're mischaracterizing what I'm saying. Right now, people are looking at Kelly Madigan. Is she going to help Izzy Patoka assassinate Julian's character? I don't know what they're talking about in Essex, but that is definitely.
I know what listen.
Let me speak. You're cutting me off. You're cutting me off.
Okay, I'm sorry, Donnie.
They are talking about that in Randallstown.
Okay, well, listen. All I'm saying is, I was there from the beginning. Izzy jumped on the bandwagon. Izzy was the person, because they all messed up to me. So I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Izzy did not deny that he was going along with it. It's an opportunity for him to come out and say, look what I did. But Izzy wasn't for anything. He was just like everybody else. When they asked him for a person to be on the hearing panel, he gave them one. It wasn't so people start complaining that he tried to make this an opportunity. I don't think there was some big cahoots, because he could have started out early and said, I'm not even going to give you any name. Why are you doing this? Because he didn't have to. He didn't start saying anything until people started calling everybody out. So he's an opportunist because no one else was saying anything.
Okay, Mr. Bob, any thoughts on Baltimore County? Are you hearing anything about Julian, Izzy Patoka, Pat Young in this county executive race?
Well, you know, from my impression is, and I'm not a pollster, and I'm certainly not a political pundit. My impression is that the race, more likely than not, at least on the Democratic side, will come down to Izzy and Julian. That's my impression. But you know, there were many people who said never Trump, and look what happened. So I don't know, but I would say one final thing as it relates to the Inspector General debacle, if that's what it is, that Julian's attempt to have legislation enacted that would have essentially tied the hands of the Inspector General, at least as it relates to investigation of council members, was not well advised. And anyone running for office, whether now, Inspector General isn't supposed to be anybody's friend. That's not their job to be friendly. Their job is to investigate and uncover wrongful conduct on the part of elected officials. And so the notion that a person seeking political office would somehow rely upon, if to any extent, support from a person who's supposed to be, if selected, investigate them, I think would be inappropriate. I don't know whether it's occurred, but it would be just as inappropriate as Julian's attempt to constrain the activities of such a person.
Let's go down to Prince George's County. Martin Mitchell, how you doing, sir?
What's going on? What's going on?
You close to DC. Is Trump and his boys knocking at your door?
No, not mine personally, but definitely a lot of my neighbors. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I like to go into DC as a neighbor of DC, but you know, I'm staying away from DC right now.
Why?
Cause I'm a young black man. Because I'm a young black man, Daddy. I don't want to give them any more reason to pull me over, to stop me. You know what I mean? Like it is really what I have seen is not the DC that I recognize. I would go to DC, I would have a good time, then I'll come back to Maryland. But right now, I'm hearing of people getting stopped at 11 p.m., 12 p.m. Not even crazy late hours, or doing things that are wrong or illegal. They might be doing perfectly legal things that people were doing a few months ago. But it's a police state now, and it looks very much so.
They put fake guns.
I agree, Don. I've got a few business clients in the DC area, as well as people that I know, but particularly the business clients are saying that the occupation of DC, which appears in many respects to be akin to martial law, is dramatically hurting their business because people are just not coming out. And although I've not been stopped, but I look at what I hear of some of the stops that have been implemented at near 14th and W, or 14th and U, or up by Ben's Chili Bowl. I mean, there's no question but that the stops are targeted, and that people that are being stopped pursuant to a profile. And most often than not, I suspect that profile matches young black people like the council person.
Martin, One second, Doug. Martin, come back in. You got your camera off. You got your lens off.
Yes, sir.
What are people saying?
What are people saying about what's going on in DC?
Yes, and I ask you that because we see different people doing reports. One young man said, if you ain't breaking no law, you have nothing to worry about. But then I see an OG get on there and say, why didn't you send this same police type presence when you had January 6th going on?
Wow. I mean, Donnie, here's actually one of the things that I want to talk about, right? Like crime, of course, people might not necessarily feel like crime is over or crime is gone, but we have seen crime trending down nationally, especially like violent crime. And so, for me, I think what we see in DC, Trump is encouraging other states to do similar things, right? Like, and so I would be very worried. I did see Westmore, and he was talking about it, and I was reading a Fox headline, and it said, Governor Dodge's question about police state. But the truth of the matter is, they asked him, how is what Trump doing? How is what Trump is doing authorizing much different than what you're doing?
They said he dodged questions about the nonprofit realm.
Oh no, that was something different. That was a whole different one. I was watching that Fox, so that was a whole different one.
So they're saying he's ducking all kinds of questions.
Yeah, about him and Fagan. Yeah, I remember that one. That was like just yesterday. But long story short, Donnie, what I was saying was basically he talked about putting more resources, putting more law enforcement on the streets, and the biggest question is, how is that?
He broke up.
Don, I have a question for you.
That was kind of the biggest thing, and he's not accepting that.
Speaking of Westmore, don't you think it's a little ironic that Fagan and Elliott are both leaving 1 month after they called McAllister a liar? You know about that, Donnie?
Explain.
Okay, so with the whole reparations bill, there was an issue, and Delegate McCaskill, she just came out and told the truth to me, because I don't see why you would lie. She said when she met with Wes Moore, he had a folder and it had a plan to come out with the reparations stuff. And she said, this is terrible. Like, he basically was trying to take the idea. So the chief of staff came back out and said on I think it was the banner, that she was lying, and she didn't see a plan, and she did not see he didn't do anything. There wasn't a denial of, like, Westmore was going to take the idea and just make it a more of a, not a law, but something that came from him, and he was going to do a press tour about it. That was exactly 30 days from yesterday, and everybody is saying their exit. So I was wondering if the banner had got a PIA request that kind of substantiates what McCaskill was saying, because I just thought it was a little ironic.
So you say, I know Fagan is leaving, the chief of staff.
The head of the press secretary is already left. His last day was this week too. So he's going to be a special advisor to Westmore.
Was that a black?
No, Elliott's white with red hair.
So he's leaving.
Mm-hmm. He already left. His last day was like Tuesday.
And where's he gone?
He's going to be the Westmore, one of the campaign senior advisors for the Westmore campaign.
Oh, so he's leaving the 9 to 5 and going to the campaign side.
Right.
And this is the campaign for
Westmore. It's his campaign.
Westmore for
governor. He can't run for president yet. He's gonna run for governor first.
he can't run for. Why
president
can't he run?
28. 26 is governor.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep up. So much is happening. Okay, and for the record, okay, come on in, Doug.
I think it's muted.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now that you're not muted.
Yes. Let me be clear here. what's going on in Baltimore, Chicago, Florida, Atlanta, is going on all across the United States. Black people are being muted. And what I mean muted, we're being silenced. Next week, I'll be in Sacramento, California, which is the capital of California, and talking about issues that are serious issues. And what I mean by that, if we ever got together and galvanized our energy, we would have more political power. And I have brothers saying, well, look what they're doing to the Mexicans, what they're doing to Hispanic. I said, that is a denouement for what they're going to do for black people. Once they finish doing this ISIS thing with Hispanics, who do you think they're going after next?
Do y'all buy that?
What I buy is that as a people, we lack sufficient amount of testosterone. We have never demanded repayment of the debt that is owed by America to black people. And even among those today, we are afraid to demand repayment of the debt. We start by acknowledging and acquiescing to the notion that our stake in this country was something that was given to us by white people by virtue of constitutional amendment. I reject that notion. I reject it because I believe that our stake in this country began the same way theirs did when our feet hit the ground. America, the government of America, under the control of white people, denied that for many, many years. But the fact that they denied it doesn't make it true. We, as a people, if you look at the history of what we've done, part of what we see today is a consequence of our cowardice. We are the only people that I know of that packaged our children up, said we love you, put them on a bus and sent them to a place where they were going to be spit on and stoned. And we've never apologized to that generation of kids. But yet we wonder why they have no respect for us. We have achieved, quote, in quotes, what we claim to have achieved, not by claiming what we did, not by standing on our claim to the inventions, everything from GPS to stoplights to HVAC, but by following the path and accepting the notion that these were inventions of white folk, and we fight for a seat at the table that the Lord overturned. And that is why we are in the position that we're in. And all this talk about, we're going to get together. Where is our leadership? Where is our moral leadership? How many black men have come up openly to support Jasmine Crockett? That sister has been called every name under the sun. And I ain't seen Hakeem Jeffries, Kwesi Mfume, or not one of them stand up and say, stop calling my sister names. But yet we claim that we want the respect of our kids. Now we are governed by the same thing that white folk are governed by, the almighty dollar. That's my opinion, humbly.
Mr. Dashiell Esquire,
Doug.
Yes, sir.
Hold tight, Doug. Come on, Randolph.
Oh, thank you. Since we're talking politics,
hey, listen, Mike. You down there in Florida and you done got slow.
No, man, I was just listening to this engaging conversation.
Yeah, well,
I knew I was going to get in sooner or later, right?
You better,
I
look,
respect.
this
I want Baltimore politics.
Yeah, you done got slow.
Let me share with you about some serious Tampa. And by the way, ICE is here in Tampa. They're alive and they're well, definitely. They are over Tampa. But this was interesting in Tampa. Politics is about to change. There is a District 5 special election. District 5 special election came about because a black lady who was heading that district passed away. So now they having a special election. In West Tampa, we have what's called a Black Agenda special election related to that, to make sure that we get the concerns related to West Tampa. Because guess what? 50% of the African American population has left since 1990. So our thing is that we want to make this race about race. Because at the end of the day, race and economics is what this is all about. They try so hard to give like 15 meetings, town hall meetings, never mention us. Guess what? We use media and we got our own meeting. And now we bringing all the politicians to where we are. Because we want to make sure that that seat remains black. And that's very important. Now we're talking about 14 people that's running. And guess what? 5 of them are Republicans. And we're talking about in the African American district related to that. So yeah, we want to make sure, and I think this going around the nation, what they're trying to do to dilute, black power. But in West Tampa, we got to surprise for them because we understand politics.
It might sound like y'all got too many damn candidates in the race.
We do. But can you understand why? Guess why? If you want to dilute,
I ain't talking about the problem. I'm telling you what the solution is. Somebody got to get out. Welcome to the show, Beverly Smith, straight out of D.C. Listen, I've been trying to get D.C. on the phone. I don't know what y'all got going on. If they blocking y'all phone calls. Are y'all okay? This is a wellness check.
Oh, you already know we can survive that crack epidemic. We this is nothing. Come on now. We are resilient. Okay?
So what's the word? Because I see some people on social media saying, well, if you do the right thing, then you have nothing to worry about. And then I see an OG get up there and saying, why y'all here now? Where were you January 6th?
Well, I think that everybody has their perspective from where they sitting at and how they see the situation that's happening. I know from where I'm sitting at, like I said, I spoke before about, different things that came into our community and kind of ravaged from the inside out. My family was affected by the crack epidemic and just a number of different drugs and different things that come into our community. Fast forward now, I'ma just speak, Donnie, I am a native Washingtonian, Southeast DC. I am the founder and executive director of Mama Safe Haven, a nonprofit organization here that work with at hope kids, not at rest. We at hope. We hoping, we keeping hope alive for our children and our families. And so back in 2006, I lost a sister to an asthma attack who left 6 children behind. And during that time, the crime rates was going up. We had a little decline in crime, but it kind of went up with the youth. And I was always going down to the courts, letting them know, we have to really get a handle on our youth. With them okaying the marijuana and just the serious laundering, all the things that's happening. One of the biggest things for me is when they took the rights from the parents with that child abuse law, when they took that from us and, the children can now say, oh, I'm going to call the police. I'm saying all this to say now here we are. Yes, we have crime in our city. A 3-year-old was shot. It's not okay. It's a lot of
do you agree with the president taking and putting the police chief on ice for 30 days?
No, the chief is not on ice. Come on now, don't do Chief Smith like that. She's not on ice. We fought. We have our rights. She's not on ice.
Sister Smith, let me say this. I
Hey,
live
Doug, you gotta
in.
let people finish what they say. Hold tight, Doug.
Let me piggyback off of what Sister Smith is saying.
Well, I'm trying to get the rest of the information. Can you just hold tight a second?
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you.
So she's not.
She's still in charge. Now I'm gonna tell you what I've seen in my community. I'm in the, we see a lot, DC, you have areas where people do not come, and that's where I'm at in Southeast, in the rough areas. You do not see a lot of police operation, no DEAs, a lot of them in those areas. You will see them do a checkpoint, and that probably lasts for about 30 minutes to an hour. Specifically Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Shepherd Park, where there is, we actually have a mural on the wall of a young girl, 5 years old, that was murdered last year. A lot of people were shot, but she was murdered right there at the corner of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And across from there, that's a high area, high crime, drug area. They came through and was there for about 30 minutes or so. I had a friend that said they was just there by the time I got there, it was gone. There was no trace of anybody, and the area still looked as if they didn't come through there, meaning there was still, people kind of hanging out and just the same kind of look. I'm just saying from my point of view, as it relates to, media sometimes try to make it seem like it's this whole taking our city. I'm speaking from my experience. I'm on the streets every day. I'm boots on the ground in the community. I don't see it.
Thank you, Doug.
Let me be clear here, my sister.
Hey, look, you had to get a new line. We didn't heard that 3 times this show. Let me be clear. Now you can't say that no more.
Let me be clear here. And Donnie Glover, I love you. What you're doing on BlackUSA.news nationally. Sister Smith, we have the same problems that you have in Baltimore here in Oakland, California. Right now,
she Oakland, in Southeast DC, Doug.
Wherever you are, if you Black in America, you got problems. Sister Smith, in Oakland, California, we have Sister Barbara Lee, who was elected to be mayor of the city of Oakland, California, who is doing her best to fight Donald Trump and his imperialism to take over. Lauren Taylor, who was running against Barbara Lee. I supported Barbara Lee because Barbara Lee she is an icon in regards to, Lauren Taylor received $400,000. He was running against Barbara Lee. I supported Barbara Lee because we have got to start recognizing that the powers to be are trying to take over our community. They're trying to buy out, and I'm going to mention a name so that you can remember that. Seneca Scott, who is from Ohio. They put him in here and gave him almost $1 million to run against Barbara Lee, to take away the Black power that has allowed Black communities to survive. And Sister Smith, the problems that you're having where you are the same problems that we're having in Oakland, California. We are fighting to keep the communities that we have fought, and we are fighting to keep against this Trumpism, this MAGAnism. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So in Florida, let's talk about Florida politics. In the state of Florida, the whole government is ran by Republicans. Democrats have very little to say. They can do what they want. In the state of Florida, they're doing what's known as dodge from the federal level. They're doing it on the state level. They're coming to every county to make sure that they don't have any DUI or any of that stuff, and they're dealing with the public. So when you look at what Donald Trump is doing, imagine the same thing is being done here in Florida. And as a matter of fact, they're going to re-erase the districts and make it more white than black. Just like they're doing in Texas. The same thing is about to occur here in Florida.
And
Let,
it's
And,
wrong.
let me say this.
they're trying to do it in California. Trust and
Let me,
believe that.
let me say
And
this, guys. I think that, like I said, here in DC, everybody's saying they're using us as the guinea pig or the first one. We're not a state, we don't have representation. It's a lot of different things that's going on here in DC. But I think that as a people, we have to look at the rights that we do have and what we can fix. And I'll say it like this: what we have the power of, right? What power do we have? The power is in the people, right? And looking at where the power is. So we have elders in our community. We also have our youth, and then we got our parents. I think it's really important for us to start educating our youth and our parents and making sure we're doing the cleaning up of our own streets and not pacifying or making excuses for the things that's happening and just looking for an opportunity to say, oh, okay, he doing this, it's good media, it's good press to talk about all this stuff, but let's look at what's really happening right now. I'm actually in Warrenton, Virginia right now here with Mr. Robert Woodson, who is a Republican, by the way. But anyway, he's here doing a CAN meeting. We're doing our retreat here in Warrenton, Virginia, and it's really about us being a part of our solution. There's so many solutions in our community right here in DC. There's boots on the ground organization that is combating any kind of negativity with the DEA or ICE or anyone that's coming in. And a lot of those things is not being shown in the media. The media is being very and y'all know that, being very intentional about what they showing people. DC is the star on the map, but we're a huge state. I mean, and you heard me say state. We are, we are huge in our own right, and we're not allowing it. The mayor is not allowing it. We done went up to her house and her office. They're not going to show y'all all that. But at the end of the day, we are resilient communities. Florida, Texas, California. Those are some red states, though. We are blue states, so let me not speak too much on other states.
California's blue. California's blue.
Let me,
Beverly, Republican or Democrat? When it comes time to election, they come to our community, beg for our votes.
Right.
And once they get our votes, what do they do for us? Nothing.
Our problem is we think that politics is limited to Republican or Democrat, and both of them have been, will be, and forever will be white-controlled organizations. We need our own. We need the courage to create our own. Look, Florida is the second most financially distressed state in the union, behind only Texas. Trump got pissed off in DC because why? Because you had Black Lives Matter painted in front of the White House. And yet we continue every day to think and act as though our only hope is seeking refuge in a white-dominated political organization called the Democrats. Haven't we learned yet that no white organization will ever make us first? Haven't we learned? I mean, when are we going to get it?
I get it, because you know what? I went to DC when they had, it was in January when they had the elections for the new chair, and the past chair, Jamie, he said that. He said, I might be Black, I might be in charge, when he was talking to the Black caucus.
Yeah.
But they was pulling these strings. They said there's so many things I didn't even know was happening. Sometimes they just have you there just to sit there. And that's unfortunate. I do want to also say Baltimore County is going through the same thing with redistricting, but unfortunately, Black people can't think alike. So we have a lot of people just fighting for themselves. But also, we are the only a municipality that Donald Trump has called a sanctuary city. And I don't know if that's a real thing, or is it something that maybe our county executive forgot to send in the paperwork? I don't know. But so.
So, any thoughts on Texas? Anyone?
What do you
Well,
mean?
Texas, they're using Texas as a denouement. Texas is being used as a template of how they're going to screw Black Americans across the United States. And until we figure out, and let me back up. I've been reaching out to young brothers and sisters in deep East Oakland, California, Alameda County, state of California, and talking to these brothers that, hey, look, we have got to start galvanizing our power, our votes, so that we can start winning elections. Right now, we're being screwed. And yes, we're being screwed, not here in Oakland and Alameda County in the state of California, but across the United States. We are being screwed out of the votes that could give us political power that will help us determine our future.
I just want to say I'm inspired by Jasmine Crockett. I had a great opportunity to hear her speak when I was in DC. But the things that are happening in Texas is happening everywhere. We just didn't know what was happening. And I'm really grateful for the ACLU. I have been like watching how they move, and I'm a little concerned about what's going to happen next in the Supreme Court. But we just got to keep fighting the fight and stick together.
You're concerned about what's going to happen in the Supreme Court. I don't have any doubt about what's going to happen in the Supreme Court. They just authorized him to take $780 million from National Institutes of Health, so which is going to cut off the Supreme Court has tried. Look, he's got Roberts on speed dial. Okay, so the notion that our liberation was somehow tied up, and these 9 people who sat there, even with Marshall, was on that's a diversionary tactic. That's never the source of our freedom. We can't look to the courts. Donald Trump has appointed more judges than any president in modern history. And not only has he appointed them, he didn't appoint them because they were Republican or Democrat. He appointed them because they kissed the ring. Okay? He appointed them because they kissed the ring. Look. I mean, so we're the only ones still caught in this fog, this mind fog about what the issue really is. I mean, no, the media is not going to tell the truth, but the media is controlled by 6 corporations, control all the print and advertising broadcast media in the country. So no, we can't look to NBC, ABC, or CBS, or even CNN to tell the truth. We can't do that. But the reason we stay locked up is because we don't have the faith that we can achieve. When you took the chain off of Pavlov's dog, he still didn't leave the yard. We're right. We're still in the yard. We don't look we first of all, we've got to define what it means to be Black, because as Donnie likes to say, all skin ain't kin. Black is not a skin color, it's a state of mind. It's more importantly, it's a state of heart. And in order to be that, you got to have some courage to stand somewhere. You can't keep moving every time the tide changes or somebody tells you, no, you don't. If you don't decide for yourself where you're going, you'll never know when you get there.
So I think that this is part of a larger picture. When you look at Project 2025, when you look at the fear of white America, that minorities are going to control this, not control the country, but it's going to be more of us to them. Trust me, those plans that we're seeing now was planned years ago because of fear of them losing that population.
This is a reminder.
My brother, let me say this. One of the things that I really am encouraged, the brother in Africa, the brother whose name is Ibrahim Traore, the president, youngest president of Burkina Faso. He is pushing forward to in Africa. And Africa is the richest country in this world. We need to start.
Tricontinent.
Excuse me?
It's the
Never mind.
richest continent.
Never mind.
No. Africa is the richest country in this world.
Continent.
Africa is the richest continent in this world. And we need to start looking at how he is pushing back on Western civilization, who has made it seem like Black people, we are these cotton picking, stupid Negroes. And we need to start pushing ahead with his agenda. We have our own, we have resources that can help us, not just here and not just in Africa, but across this country. We need to start developing those resources that's going to help Black people develop ourselves to be who we really are, kings and queens.
Let me ask you this. Can y'all on this panel work with Africans?
It depends.
I'm working with them now.
It depends.
I'm actually working with them
I
now.
already work with Africans.
It depends. It depends because first of all, the continent was not named Africa by the people who lived there. Just like we didn't get our we these are not our birth names in reality. But it depends, Donnie, because the real division is not black and white. It's those who have and those who have not. Right? And the final and the
white people think it is.
Pardon me?
Why do poor white people think
because they've been taught the same way we've been taught.
That's right. Yeah.
They've been taught. They're not born. You're not born black or white. That's a cultural construct that you are taught, and you are taught to believe what that means. But in the final analysis, the problem is that 1/10 of the world has got 99% of the wealth and resources. And that other 99% that ain't got nothing and never will have it unless they come together. And if we would be wise to learn from the lesson from Malcolm when he came back from Mecca. When he came back, hold on, Doug. I'm gonna give it back to Donna. He can give it to you if he wants you to have it. When he came
to the dispensary out there in California, so he can relax.
When he came back from Mecca, what he said was he made a tremendous discovery, not one that caused him to change his name, if you recall. Mm-hmm. What he discovered was that there were people whose skin was white, there were people whose skin was yellow, there were people whose skin was brown, and there were people whose skin was just like mine, and they all called each other brother and meant it. See, when Dixon was running for office, all the pundits said ignore Big Town or ignore whatever the poor white district of the city. I said no. Put on your most Afrocentric garb and go down and say, look, you can either fight me or we can fight together for our children. Because believe it or not, your kids are in the same school system as mine, and yours are just as dumb as mine are.
Mr. Dashiell, from day one, you have been an icon to me. I look at you and I respect you, but I want to say this. At the end of the day, the white man want Baltimore, they want Oakland, they want Chicago, they want Atlanta. They want us fighting each other so that we can't unite and defend the group of black people who and these young brothers and sisters, they are not playing. They're out there ready to fight.
Who are they gonna fight?
Fight? Yeah, but I'm just saying, I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your intelligence, but at the end of the day, our young black people, they're tired of sitting on the sideline and they're ready to fight. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, quite a discussion. Sharonda Hoffman, I know you weren't expecting this tonight. Put a plug in for yourself. Tell people how to get in touch with you and anything else you want to say.
Oh, I always watch you, Don. I expect anything. But SharondaHuffman.com, and I'm running for Baltimore County. Actually, I'm running for county council. Don't know where I'm running at. We're still fighting for us to have our own civil rights here in Baltimore County. But you can find me at Sharonda at SharondaHuffman.com.
Let me just say, I did go out to Lincoln Park here in Baltimore for Malcolm Ruff.
Yes, I'm a Rough Rider. That's my new name.
Malcolm Ruff is running against the Jewish woman, Dahlia Attar. I understand that Sean Stinnett is rolling with Dahlia Attar. Sean Stinnett is not rolling with Malcolm Ruff. Sean Stinnett is not rolling with Malcolm Ruff. Malcolm Ruff is not rolling with Sean Stinnett. So we have a split in the 41st where one noted Black person is on one side and another noted Black person is on the other side with the Jewish community. Okay, I hear nothing but crickets.
Oh, okay. You want to say something? Because I'm not in Baltimore City, but I know the people. But that's, it was interesting that Sean got it because he already probably had the alliance. Because he had to get the Jewish vote. Anytime you got Yitzi voting for Sean, and I know there's a history between Yitzi is and the Stinnetts. There's been a history, so I'm not surprised, but it is what it is. I mean, we all talk about competition. You don't have to be.
Then Bilal Ali is a supporter of Sean Stinnett. And again, it's just wild to me how this thing is playing out. I mean,
it ain't wild to me. I saw it.
You saw it coming.
I saw it coming because all the Jewish people had voted for Sean. I already knew this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because there was one person that switched up, but they thought Malcolm had it.
No, one person did switch up. Lakeisha Brown Wright Eel.
Yeah, but I knew.
Damn shame, Mr. Bob. Angela Goldberg. I'm sorry, Angela Gibson. That's a Black lady, Bev. It's a Black lady that voted for the Jewish people. She said to hell with the Black people. And she thought maybe they was going to vote for her, but all they gave her was some Jerry Curl grease. I'm sorry, that was a low blow. My bad.
Why are you like this?
Jerry Curls went out with Coming to America. Stop playing.
Let your soul go. I think that when it comes down to the bottom line, everybody already said it. United we stand, divided we fall. And we have to stand together. There are some grassroots organizations. There's some things that's already in place. There's no need of reinventing the wheel. I think it's important for the people to get behind those people who are already galvanizing and add numbers to the different initiatives. So for someone to say that this is not happening in this place, I think that it's very important for us to just take time out, find out what those Black organizations or African, whatever organization that you, whatever fight that you stand for, there's someone already out there doing it. Those, it's power in numbers. So that's what I want to end with when it comes down to this political thing, is this is power in numbers. And we got to get behind these organizations that's putting in this work. And like you said, the media is not going to be there for us, but who needed when we didn't even have it back in the day? We offer word of mouth to get out people.
Marcus Garvey did.
Yeah, and we need to do it. We need to do it not in the media, and I know we on the media now, but I think it need to be something that need to be passed on like a note in school, right? Pass that back, and we get on the same page, right? And everybody can't run. Some people walk, some people talk, some people raise their hand, but everybody have a part to play in the liberation of our people.
Well,
I think the solution.
Hold tight, panel. I want y'all to know that this lady right here, Bev Smith, we've done several Black Wall Streets in her part of Washington, D.C. And I don't care what people in Northwest think. I'm partial to her part of town, first and foremost. Tell them what you represent.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, Southeast Murray, just our community. You know, Chuck Brown, as it relates to the least of those, you know, those ones that they forgot about, you know, and those are the strong ones. I'm telling you, when it comes down to that mental, they definitely want to tear us down from the inside out. But we are resilient. We're a strong community. And no matter what go on, you see my fight. I'm not saying they coming to take over. We taking over them. And Chief Smith, we honored her with an award last year. My organization, Mama Safe Haven, the Voices of Black Mothers United, is a national organization. I'm here with women from all different states who are standing lost children to gun violence. And we're here coming together. They are organizations doing the work. So I just want to urge everyone that's watching, as we talk about all these different things that people trying to do to us, know that there's people out here combating that right now and winning. We are winning, guys. We are winners, and we're going to continue to win. So we got to keep that winning mindset as we talk about these things.
Straight out of Ward 8, Southeast
DC. Let me just be clear.
We're going to get Doug his own show back. Doug, it is time for you to start your own damn show again, because I'm this. Go ahead, Doug.
Let me say this from Oakland, California, the West Coast. We are supporting, first off, Donnie Glover on blackusa.news, because Donnie, you're doing an outstanding job.
We are.
Okay, let me rephrase that. We are doing but let me be clear here. Until we unite, we are divided. I love you, Donnie. Keep up the great work.
Mike Randolph, put a plug in for what you're doing down there in Tampa.
I certainly will. But before I do that, just let me say that I believe the solution is in Africa. If American here, Black, unite with those in Africa, we can change the whole narrative. But quickly, let me share my program that's coming up. And out of transparency, let me tell you where I got the idea from. I got it from Donnie's show. Donnie had people talking about crypto on his show. He had people talking about the Web3. And then he had people talking about blockchain, and he had people talking about artificial intelligence. I took that idea, and in West Tampa, we created the West Tampa Technology Wealth Building and Job Creation Center. What's critical about that is that we're using artificial intelligence to get jobs for people who normally wouldn't get jobs. Those with criminal records, those with no type of skills, senior citizens, those that are on Social Security. We're using artificial intelligence in the Web3 to change the narrative. And again, Donnie, I want to thank you, man, because of all the shows I've been watching. That's where the idea come from, and that's why Black media is so important. Thanks again.
Good job, Mr. Bob, you got the final word, big brother.
When you're on an airplane, the flight attendants tell you, in the case of turbulence and if the airbags are deployed, they tell you to put yours on first before you put on the one for the children. Right? The first people that we ought to help are those who can help somebody else. I am very compassionate about helping homeless. I'm very compassionate about helping, but our problem is we got to help somebody who can help somebody, right? We got to help somebody who can help somebody. The reason the reason nothing changed, because you can't change it from the bottom. You cannot change it from the bottom. The pressure on the people at the bottom is not from the people at the top, it's from the people just above them. Good night.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.